Hey guys, Hallie here at High Octane Cards with the recap of today's Geico 500 at Talladega. Pretty exciting race. There's a couple lulls in it, as you would expect, especially during the last stage of the race, which was 68 laps. They had a bit of a time there where they kind of got in single file on the high groove. They did it a couple times during the first two stages, but overall it was a pretty exciting race, a lot of side-by-side. There wasn't too many crashes, which we'll recap those here in just a second. As you know, Brad Keselowski did win the race with a last lap pass on Matt DiBenedetto. I'm going to review the top 10 finishers here real quickly for you guys. So Keselowski was first, William Byron was second, Michael McDowell had a strong run in third, Kevin Harvick was fourth, Matt DiBenedetto was fifth. 6 through 10 in a surprising run was Kaz Grala driving for Colleague. Tyler Reddick was 7th, Austin Dillon was 8th, Ryan Blaney was 9th, and Cole Custer was 10th. Some notables sprinkled throughout the field. Ryan Briscoe and Anthony Alfredo, your two Rookie of the Year contenders, were 11th and 12th, so they were right there on the cusp of getting their first career top 10s today. Kyle Busch was 18th, Bubba Wallace was 19th, Chase Elliott was 24th, Kurt Busch was 35th, Alex Bowman, last week's winner, was 38th, Joey Logano was 39th in a spectacular crash, and Kyle Larson was 40th, finished dead last after the crew left. There was some sort of plate or some sort of thing, I don't know how to explain it, was left over the radiator or over the fan or something, caused the car to overheat in the opening laps and ended up blowing the engine. So anyway, the race was run at an average speed of 147.62 miles an hour. There were 7 cautions for a total of 34 laps. 0.102 seconds was the margin of victory, and there were 35 lead changes among, I didn't write it down, I think it was like 10 drivers. There's 35 lead changes, but I did not write down the information on how many drivers took turns leading. Matt DiBenedetto and Bubba Wallace did get their first career stage wins today, so that was 10 extra points for each of those guys in their run for the playoff positions, and 1 playoff point for both of those drivers. As far as the points go, and this of course is the top 10 as far if they started the playoffs tomorrow. Martin Truex Jr. is first, Joey Logano would be second, William Byron would be third, Ryan Blaney fourth, Brad Keselowski fifth, 6 through 10 would be Larson, Bell, McDowell, Bowman, and Hamlin, who as of right now is the regular season's point leader, but is the highest playoff driver without a win right now. So there have been 9 different winners in 10 races, pretty spectacular. As far as the cutoff point, Kurt Busch, coming into this race, had the last playoff spot, but right now, Chris Buescher has a 12-point advantage over Matt DiBenedetto. Kurt Busch did fall out with that 35th place run today. As far as laps led, Denny Hamlin ended up 32nd yesterday, or today, I'm sorry. Some of you guys will probably see it Monday, so it'll be yesterday for you guys. But today, Hamlin did lead a race high. If he finished 32nd, I apologize, with 43 laps led, a race high of 43 laps. Where's my other ones at here? Bubba Wallace and Eric Almirola led 16 laps each, and Matt DiBenedetto led a second high of 28 laps. So very competitive race. There wasn't one driver that was head and shoulders above the rest of the field. Denny did have the strongest car, and strangely enough, he was involved in both multi-car accidents, both coming down for the finish of each stage. I believe he ended up 3 laps down at the finish. Of course, they had an early competition caution. Joey Gase in the 28 car, a Davey Allison tribute car, spun out to cause a caution. Kurt Busch had an oil line come off and caused a fire on his car, and he did come back and finish the race. It was really competitive. That caused a caution. Near the end of the race, the 00 car of Quinn Half apparently cut a tire and hit the wall and stopped on the backstretch. That caused a caution. And then Martin Truex Jr. had a rash of problems at the end, and the carcass of the right front or right rear tire, I don't recall which one it was, came off the car just short of the start-finish line and caused the last caution, which created the green-white checker overtime finish. So overall, I thought the race was very, very exciting. There was a lot of 3 and 4 wide racing, lots of passes. This aerodynamic package that they have with the tall spoilers and everything reminds me a lot of that 2001, 2002, even the last race of 2000 at Talladega, where they had the wicker bill going across the roof of the car. These cars just punch such a big hole in the wind that you can get a draft off of them from a long ways behind. So it's very similar, I think, to the truck series. got a very, very square back of the vehicle, and it creates a big hole in the wind. Excuse me. As far as, let me just make sure I don't have any other notes here. Kaz Grala and Cole Custer got their first top 10s of the season. Of course, this is Kaz's second top 10 in 3 races of his career. Of course, he subbed for Austin Dillon last year at the road course at Daytona and came away with, I believe, a 7th place finish and had a strong top 20 at Daytona and the Daytona 500 this year. Custer, of course, won last year at Kentucky. Has kind of had just an off season so far this year. Hasn't really been competitive. None of the Stewart-Haas cars, really, for that matter, have been competitive. But as we'll review the favorites here. Of course, I'd pick Denny Hamlin. He was 32nd. Blaney was 9th. Keselowski won the race. And Joey Logano, again with that airborne crash on the backstretch into turn 3, ended up 39th. Of course, Joey was very critical about NASCAR, about this type of racing, and etc., etc. I don't know how much this will change with the development of the next generation car next year. Not sure what the engine's going to be like. Not sure what the aerodynamics is going to be like, how different the Daytona and Talladega racing will be. My dark horse category had Ricky Stenhouse. He came 33rd. He did have a crash that did not bring out a yellow during the last set of pit stops. He was involved in the crash with Joey Logano, Denny Hamlin, and others. Did receive some damage there, but did continue. Ross Chastain came across the line 16th, sliding and hit the inside wall head on. Apparently he was not injured. There was really, I didn't see any reports on the air, but apparently Ross was fine. No other word has come across. Chris Buescher was 21st, and we said Bubba Wallace. Did I write it correctly over here? Yeah, he was 19th today. Then my long shot category, they seem to do really well. Michael McDowell, of course, we talked about him earlier. He came across in 3rd position. Corey LaJoie had a solid 22nd place. Daniel Suarez was 23rd. Could have been a lot higher, but if you've seen with a couple laps to go, he scooted across the apron in turn 1 and lost a lot of positions, but saved the race car. And Ryan Preece came home a strong, solid, but quiet 14th place finish. He did run up front quite a bit today, so that was not a surprise to me. My DraftKings teams did do fairly good. I did the quarter leagues. Obviously, it's only 25 cents. I think I played 5 games. I ended up winning a total of $1, so I lost 25 cents today. But it's better than playing $4 games and losing $3 because of the way the prizes are situated. So I enjoy DraftKings. We'll keep doing that moving forward. But overall, I would have to grade this race probably an A-. Competitiveness, it was there. There was a lot of passing. There was a lot more give and take than what I thought that you would see at Daytona or Talladega. These guys are battling for playoff spots. They're battling to get themselves locked in, and these guys know it, but at the same time they realize, hey, I can lose 25 positions on the last lap, and that's going to be 25 points. It's going to be very difficult to make up later in the season. So I think with this race, it was a tale of 2 races. Let's race to the finish and be cautious and get there, but let's race amongst the brands, if you will. It almost seemed like there was a brand race going on. Every time there was pit stops, the Fords would come in together, the Chevys would come in together, and then the Toyotas would come in all together. And you kind of seen that best-in-class thing going on, too. Like I say, it was a competitive race. I thought it went really well. Kind of nerve-wracking their last few laps with that green-white checkered. I think Daytona is going to be a whole different monster. I think it's going to be in September. I'm pretty sure that's when they moved it from last year, or when it was moved to last year. I think that will be a wild race. I think there'll be a lot of action in that Daytona race. Next weekend is the Kansas race, so it's a 1.5 mile track, so it's going to be very difficult to say what's even going to happen there. Have to wait and see what the metric qualifying, how it lines up for next week. As you know, you got the finishing position from the previous race weighted in with your current points position, weighted in with your fastest lap of the race. And it's been a really, really good system. I've really liked it because you can get some guys, just again, looking at this order, this is going to help somebody like Michael McDowell, Matt DiBenedetto. They're going to get some really good starting spots next week. And conversely, somebody like Kyle Larson, Alex Bowman, Kurt and Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, they're going to not be starting in that top 7 or 8. So it's going to create a whole different dynamic for next Sunday's race. So I'm looking forward to it as well. My wife and I did not go to the speed drum today. Wasn't sure. We had some plans that we were going to maybe go work on her car a little bit, but that we didn't do that. So we ended up just kind of hanging around the house for a little bit. She did a lot of cleaning. I just kind of took it easy. So no videos from the speedrome. I'm sorry to say that. I would have liked to have went, but it just wasn't in the cards today. Speaking of cards, tomorrow, not sure. I'm looking at what we got in front of us here. Looks like some 2017 Donruss maybe, or I could do those packs of score. Haven't decided what we're going to do yet, but we'll open up something tomorrow. So anyway, thanks again, guys, for watching. Hope you enjoy the last few minutes of Sunday, and most of you will see this on Monday, so enjoy your Monday if that's when you watched it. We will see you later today with some cards that we will be opening. Thanks for watching, guys.